Dhamma discussion we have been doing every Thursday. So today also most of you have uh, sent questions, and those questions are very important to fill out those gaps that we might have in our understanding, uh, completing, and it would help us to complete our pathway. So before starting the Dhamma discussion, let us remind ourselves about all the meritorious deeds we might have done during the sansaric journey, especially in this lifetime, with utmost respect towards Supreme Buddha, Supreme Dhamma, and Supreme Sangha. We have done various Kaya Kamma, Vachi Kamma, and Mano Kamma, which are meritorious towards the triple gems, and with those meritorious power, may everyone get the perfect background to understand the Supreme Dhamma. May everyone get the Kalyana Mitta Sampatti, Saddhamma Savana, Dhammanudam Patipada, and all the four components of becoming a Sotapanna. And may everyone be able to open up their eyes of wisdom and end their sansaric journey by completing the Arya pathway. Accept this blessing with the sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And also, since we have been joining or having ties with us with supreme sasanas, we might have done various unethical deeds towards the triple gems as well, because of avidya, because of not knowing the great qualities. We might have acted upon the ignorance and done various unethical deeds towards the triple gems. And let us, in this moment, let us acknowledge our faults. Let us promise ourselves that we are not going to do those kind of unethical deeds again. And by forgiveness in the Arya Dhamma, we mean that we are understanding our faults, and we are promising ourselves that we are not going to do those kinds of unethical or immoral, unwholesome acts again. And in this moment, let us imagine that we are in front of Supreme Buddhas and that we are seeking forgiveness by understanding our faults and promising that we are not going to do those again. With that promise, accept this with the sadhukar.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So today we have mainly two questions, and we'll go through the first question, and then uh, we'll answer that, and then we'll move to the second one. I'll read out the question. Theruvan Saranai. In the last question, Thero taught us about the delusional and burning nature of asada, and how we are trapped in around 2:18:10 of the file. Thero said, wisdom is one thing, logic is one thing. I contemplated what meaning of the word logic is. I think it means the process to explain, persuade why this mind-made pleasure is good to me. It could be dangerous, since logic works like magician that deceives something valuable. The kind of logic make the fire look beautiful. Is is this what Thero said? And there's a following question as well. May I ask a question in addition to the above? I like to ask about the concepts and wisdom. We learn about the world from our parents and society, and each of us has some notion of it. Wisdom is a kind of enlightenment. They happen in the mind together. How do we make a distinction, and how do we move from concept to wisdom? Thank you. So now this wisdom is very different from knowledge and logic. They seem very similar, but when you understand, that is very that has a very they have distinct features. The first point that you need to understand is, without having wisdom, or without opening up your eyes of wisdom, you would not be able to say the difference. It's like if you are telling somebody about the taste of seawater, and you are telling this to a person who has never tasted seawater, and you see the problem now. It is almost impossible to tell a person about the taste of seawater if he has not tasted it. You would say that it is like salt, but you're not saying the exact thing, or exact taste is not explained by that. So another example is, if someone is blind, if you ask this, if you are asked to tell this person about the green color or the red color or whatever the color, that person, you would not be able to tell that person about that color, because that person has no data about what you are talking about. So you would have to say that thing or explain the color using what he understands. So what if you are asked to tell about the white color? Then you would have to use something he understands to explain the white color. And it is almost impossible to do if you say it is like a paper or a sheet. Then he only has the sense of touch to understand the paper. So he would think that white color is something like something that can become crumpled, something that is very thin, and something like a sheet. But he would not get the real meaning of the white color or understanding about the white color. Likewise, without wisdom, you would not be able to distinct the other two. And this is the problem. This is why most of the Aryas or non-Aryas get deceived by their results, thinking that they have attained Arihat state or Anagami state or Sotapanna state, but in reality they have not. This has happened previously in previous Buddha Sasanas, as well as in this Buddha Sasana as well. So in one story, there was a monk who was a very senior monk who has attained Arihat state at 20 years of age. He thinks, actually, he presumes that he has attained Arihat state, and now he is 80 years old. His disciples has attained the Arihat state, and one day, one of the disciples looked at it, Citta, using using this jnana to see the other people's minds, which is called there's a name for that. I can't remember the name right now. So this person, this Arihat Thero actually sees the mind of the teacher and understands that he has not attained Arihat state. He has attained some state, maybe Anagami, maybe Sakadagami, but not the Arihat state. But why does he thinks that he has attained Arihat state? Because of dhyana. When there's dhyana, the kama raga, maybe the rupa raga and arupa raga also, because they are very fine, cannot understand whether they are there or not. Mainly we understand from the rupa raga. So from the kama raga. So when there's when you are when you have these dhyanas, you think that the kama raga just gets hidden, or we call it tadanga prahana, and then there's the there's this samucheda prahana, and there's a state where this kama raga is temporarily shut down, but it is not eliminated, but it is not emanated when the causes are there, because of the dhyana, suppressed by the dhyana. So some similar thing has happened in the teacher's story. So after knowing this, the disciple comes to the teacher and asks him about this, and he tells that, have you attained, have you completed the pathway? He says, yes. When did you completed the pathway? At 20 years of age. Then he says, then you might have these abhijñās and dhyanas and everything as well. Yes, I have everything. So can you create a elephant, a tusker, with your abhijñā? And he creates he initially creates a pond, and in that pond there are lotus flowers, and this tusker is actually eating the lotus flowers. Now, according to the disciples or the Arihat Thero's directions, he creates everything. And he says again, now make that elephant come towards us ferociously, and he creates that as well. Now the tusker comes running towards them, and the teacher got scared because he has not attained Arihat Pala. He still has the will to live. And at this point, disciple asks, does Arihats have scare for dying? And then only he understands, now I have not attained Arihat Pala. And he, after saying, and he asks, he begs actually from the disciple, please help me. So after that, he gives the Arihat Thero gives a Kammasthana, and after just few steps of thinking about this Karmasthana, he attains the Arihat state. There was something missing, and even that Mahathero could not understand, identify with the difference between dhyana and wisdom. So likewise, it is very hard thing, but we can. So there are points that are very easy to identify. One thing is, when you are thinking out of logic, it is the same Dhamma. Someone is talking about anicca, someone is talking about dukkha and anatta. But without wisdom, now a person can say that if something is something cannot be, these things are not according to our, cannot be kept according to our expectation. And he has examples as well. See, my wife or my husband, my children does not obey what I say. And likewise, he perfectly explains using logic that everything is anicca. But in reality, he does not understand that whether everything is anicca. It is an incomplete understanding. He thinks some parts are anicca, but he does not understand that there are some parts in his mind he thinks that are nicca. When that is the case, he has not understood anicca. Because anicca is understanding all the things in this world is anicca, not one thing. Because that is understood by normal people as well. When somebody does not listen to you, you would say that this person is anicca, cannot controlled according to my expectations. But deep down below, he thinks it is my fault that I cannot control this person, this child, because I have not disciplined him. If I have disciplined this person, then this person would have become nicca, or would have been controlled according to the expectation. So that would be the idea, simple idea. Likewise, you would not understand why your mind is not according to your expectation. Now, even a thought is not cannot be controlled according to the expectation. This would not be identified. The fine details, fine levels would not be identified. The simple logic of anicca is there, but not anything else. Again, that is the same for dukkha, that is the same for anatta. Because there are people who say that this world is anicca, dukkha, and anatta, but act differently, act like a person who has not understood something. So we can get this good example. So let's say there's a person who likes to take alcohol. Now this is a analogy. So taking alcohol is raga, dvesha, moha. So this person likes taking alcohol, and he drinks every day. And one of the doctors at a doctor's appointment, he said that this drinking habit of his becoming alcoholic is not good for his health, and all the details are given. And let's say there are two people who are alcoholics. One understands what doctor says, other person does not. So the first person understands. So first person at the hospital at the appointment with the doctor, first person was told about everything, and this person understands this, comprehends this, not just thinking with logic, but understand the gravity. Now that is asara level, essenceless, anatta. If you understand that drinking is essenceless, a whole lot of attachment to it would reduce, but you'd have it because you have the habit of drinking still with you, but you would straight away understand that this is essenceless. When we are applying this to our story, you would gradually understand that this is essenceless. Because if you understand straight away, then you have attained the phala straight away. But some people takes time, especially people in this time would take time. But when you understand straight away, then you have attained the phala. But some people takes time, especially people in this time would take time. But when you understand straight away, then you have attained the phala straight away. But some people takes time, especially people in this time would take time. But when you understand straight away, then you have attained the phala straight away. Even it can happen in few months. So you would not know when that happened, because initially you are aligning with the pathway. You are becoming a Sotapanna stream mentor, and you are just you are stepping up. You are going up the staircase, and at the end, when you reach the top of the staircase, if you have done it in one go, you would understand the uh, height elevation. You would understand that there's a huge altitude that I have crossed. But if you have gradually done it day by day, you'd not be able to identify that it is not very significant. But if you compare it with few months, the person who was few months back and the person right now, then you would understand the difference. Likewise, there's a difference. So in the first person's mind, he has understood, and the essence for drinking has just vanished from his mind. But he gets the urges to drink. He thinks that he gets this uh, craving for alcohol. That is not gone. You have understood the essencelessness. You have understood the dukkha nature, suffering nature that it would bring, and you have understand that there's not your expectation to have blissful sensation would not occur. Now, a person, alcoholic would not understand this like this scenario. In this scenario, alcoholic would not understand this thing exactly like this, because this is Arya's view. But since we are getting it as an analogy, we'll say that he understands in this way. So he would stop. He would actually try to stop. He would get this idea that I should stop drinking straight away. But he would not be able to do that. He would just get defaulted once or twice. But he would try. This is one person. The other person number two, when he was told about everything, he also understands. He was said that his liver would get affected, and you would get cirrhosis, and you would get neurological problems and other all the effects of alcoholism was told. Again, how the money is going to waste, how the time is going to waste, how the life is going to waste, how the social life is going to end with that person. Everything, all the adinavas are told by the doctor. And this person listens to it very well and gets and becomes fearful, because he understands the logic. He understands the logic, and it feels like you have understood. You feel like you have uh, developed the essenceless nature in you, but he goes and drinks again. And in that, when you are doing it, you have no regret. But afterwards, yes, you regret. And what do you do afterwards? You just meet another doctor and listens to his story as well. You just do not develop with what you have heard. You are going from one doctor to another. You are listening to very deep concepts of how in the cellular level you are affected by alcoholism, how in a molecular level everything is asked and everything is known, and he knows everything. He has all the knowledge in the world, but he's not stopping using alcohol. So if you want to stop using alcohol, there's pathway with 8 components. What is the Ditti? Ditti was given by the doctor. Doctor gives the view that you should not drink. Then why? This is why. He explains everything. And that is the Ditti. And after that, you get a Sati. Oh, if you have got the Ditti, now your viewpoint about alcohol has changed. So when the viewpoint has changed, your actions are going to affect, and actions are going to correspond with the Ditti you have achieved. But the thing is, you have a habit. Now the habit contradicts the view. So when that happens, that is detected, and that detection of now you are going out of line is Sati. Now Sati is developed. When the Sati is developed, if you develop the Vayama or the effort, you would stop. You would not think about drinking. You would not talk about drinking. You would not act upon that and drink. Now your lifestyle would change in a way that you would drop the alcoholism you have and you would become a better person. Now you have developed 7 components, and with that 7 components, the 8th component would occur, or the samadhi would occur, that you are not drinking samadhi, or a samadhi that is opposing the drinking, because you have developed it with the samadhi or the ditti you have achieved. So these 8 components should always be there to get rid of any habit you have. Otherwise, you would not be able to do that. So that is the exact mechanism, or the process, or the set of method or methodology that we are going to use in order to get rid of our problem, or raga, dvesha, and moha. Now, the interesting part is, after you have achieved these 8 things, you would get 2 more. That is called jnana and vimukti. If we are going to talk about the Aryatangika Magga, it is called Samma Jnana and Samma Vimukti. What is the Jnana? Now this is the wisdom that is going to develop. But initial wisdom was, it came from the doctor, which is the Supreme Buddha, or a disciple of his. After that, if the wisdom is developing, you have to follow the 8 pathway. And the result is Samma Jnana, or at this point, a Jnana, a wisdom. Now this person gets a wisdom about not drinking. And he achieves the salvation, which is Vimukti. Salvation from drinking is achieved. Now these are the 10 components of achieving something. So now we are going to compare the differences between the first and second person. First person who achieved this state, who got rid of alcoholism, and the second person who is still drinking and who knows everything about alcohol. He knows that he would die soon. He knows that he has CLCD or cirrhosis. Now he is yellow. Now his liver is dysfunctioning. Now he is swelling, and he knows everything, but he cannot stop drinking. He sees the adino as well, and he knows that these are the adinos. We have this example that we take is there. It is a true story in the society. People, when they are addicted to drugs, alcohol, this happens. So a first person If you compare the two people's understanding, you would see the difference. See, the first person who has gotten rid of drinking alcohol, the jnana he has, and the knowledge the second person has, the second person would say all the things about alcoholism and how it affects the social life, economical life, and health risks, and everything would be said. But he's not experiencing it. He has no that he don't have that he doesn't have that special component which the other person has. The other person might not know much about alcohol and how it affects your body and everything. But since he has got this jnana about drinking, he's not drinking. That's the difference. He's not doing it. The other person he cannot stop it, even though he has everything in his mind or in his brain. So that is a difference. So if we are going to complete our pathway, our pathway, you cannot just rely on information. You would just become the second person. And you would just go through this once a week or once in a while, and that would not make a difference to your life or make a difference to your Arya pathway or make a difference to your suffering. That's the important part. We are going to make a difference to the suffering that we are encountering each day. So it should work. So for it to work, we have to do some sacrifices. Just like the person who has stopped drinking alcohol, it's not going to be easy. If a person is addicted, his body is addicted to the certain level of concentration of alcohol. So when that concentration is not maintained, he would get the withdrawal symptoms and he would start shaking, he would get all the problems. But he should not. He at least should gradually reduce the use of alcohol, the alcohol consumption. Otherwise, he would not be able to get rid of this problem. So that is why we need effort. That is why we have sammas vayam. So with samma vayam, we have to be very vigilant. That is why we need sati sampajanya. Sati in all the four postures: standing, sitting, sleeping posture, and walking posture. And also sampajanya, which is the sati in smaller postures or in various things that we are doing in those postures, like eating, like saying something, like opening up your arms, like seeing, like turning your head. Those are the things that you are doing in the main four postures. So you have to be very careful when you are doing those, because the thing is, if you create raga, dvesha, moha, you are creating at that point new we have talked about these bodies, four types of bodies. Ekajakaya, which is karmic body. Then there's Utujakaya, which is the Utuja body. The third body is the Manokaya, which is the mental body, and the fourth one is the condensed body, fine condensed one and the cross condensed one. So there are two parts in the fourth one. So we know when karmic energy is what collides the external and internal organs. Images and eyes are collided, and Just touch at that point, creating Vedana. And this happens for all the 6 organs, creating Vedana, 6 types of Vedana. And this Vedana, with the mental or the avidya or prajna, whatever the paticcasamuppada that is being created at that point, you create a mental body. And this mental body, at that point, when avidya pacca sankara, sankara pacca vijnana, vijnana pacca nama rupa happens, actually these nama rupa are created. Now this is a very fine paticcasamuppada that we might have not discussed about earlier. And at this point, what is called nama rupa is Suddhastaka. And this Suddhastaka is what creates that black body, black energy, which covers around us, which is around us, which is situated around our body and inside our body. Raga creates a red aura. Dvesha, or Raga creates a yellow aura. Dvesha creates a red aura. Moha creates a blue aura. When these 3 colors combine together, that is black. And a whole black condensation or a black energy is covered there around us and inside us. And when this happens, if you are looking with Raga, mainly this black energy is formed around eyes. If you are talking with Raga, it is formed around your mouth and throat. If you are hitting somebody, or let's say you are throwing a stone at a dog, now it is formed around your hand and inside your hand. Now likewise, when you are doing things like that, all the bad energies are gathered around you. And you are full of black energy when you are doing that. The other thing is, how does this happen? Because when you create the mental body, it is released, creating more room for a next mental body to be created. Because what you think creates the body at that point. But as soon as you create something, it is released. It is like a, let's say, popcorn machine. See, if you have seen a popcorn machine, you are putting popcorn, and now it is getting warmer inside that machine, that container, and it is starting to pop. And these popping popcorns would come out, leaving room for the next set of maize or these seeds to be popped out. So likewise, you have to create room for next thought to come. So the already created parts of the mental body are going to gather around us, and that creates actually the Uchuja body, and that is constantly getting subjected to viparinama. So it is getting deteriorated gradually, and when the energy is fully reduced or fully wasted, that body would be lost. And so what we do right now would last for some time. That's why when you act with raga, act with dvesha, act with moha, especially with this is very well understood with dvesha. If you get angry with somebody, it is not going to end there. It would come back again and again, and this thought would come to you for maybe for months, maybe for weeks, maybe for hours, and it would create this uncomfortable, uneasy nature in your mind, very restless nature. Why is that? You have created that. You have actually what created what you got angry of what you saw. But you saw something that you thought that you should not see, and the seeing, which is a Vedana, which is a result of touch, which is the result of collision of eyes and images, actually created this moment. And based on that Vedana, you decided that you should get angry. Or actually, avidya decided. Avidya was created, and after avidya, Sankara was created, and this Sankara was in the shape of getting angry. And the Vijnana was angry Vijnana, and the Nama Rupa which was generated, the Suddhastaka, were corresponding to the mindset, and that created that Nama Rupa created the Salayatana or charged your Ayatana, and you experience that Dvesha Vedana. Dvesha Spasa, Dvesha Vedana, and Dvesha. And the Tanha is not there. Instead, there's Patiga. Patiga becomes Adhimokha. Adhimokha becomes, and then Adhimokha leads to actually Bhava, Dvesha Bhava. Dvesha Bhava leads to Dvesha Jati, and that is ending up in Jara, Marana, Soka, Parideva, Dukkha, Domana, Supayasa, Sambhavanti. Eva me tassa dukkha kandasa samudaya hoti is the end. But it is not the end, because it is going to come back again and again and again. Because whatever you released as the Suddhastaka, and whatever you have released in the Nama world as the mental images, would going to struck back again to your mind, remembering what you have just saw. And it would create this instance again and again because of creating it once. So your body going to be covered with this black energy, because now you cannot get you cannot escape from that cycle. It becomes a vicious cycle. The problem with this black energy around our body is it is the opposite of what we develop. We are developing a white energy. We are developing not raga dvesha moha but alobha dosa moha. When we are developing kusala mula, that is not going to be red, going to be yellow, or going to be blue. Instead, it's going to be white. And this white energy would destroy the black energy because they are opposite. It's like when there's light, the darkness is eliminated. Darkness cannot win when there's light. So likewise, when that happens, when you are thinking in a anicca dukkha anatta pattern, that would happen. But since you would be getting angry and getting into raga and dvesha, especially lobha dosa moha, again, this is for lobha, not necessarily for raga, because kama raga would lead to lobha. Rupa raga and arupa raga would not create that black energy. It's the kama raga leading to lobha would create the yellow energy, yellow power, or yellow suddhastaka. We assigned a color for this to our understanding. Don't need to know, and we don't know actually. We are never be able to see a suddhastaka in our lives. And in Tripitaka, it never says that it's yellow or red or blue, but it says that it is. We can see that what creates black color and what actually raga, the nature of raga and nature of dvesha. If we appoint a color for dvesha, what would we apply? We would apply red, because it's what we become when we are angry. Red. Blue is like moha, ignorance, the deeper levels of ignorance. It is just a understanding, and we know, but we would not be able to identify that these are the colors with our wisdom. Wisdom means with our jnana, or with our eyes. So, however, when these are gathering around us, and when we are doing good things, the good energy would form. When we are doing bad things, again the bad energy would form. Now we are not actually focused on one side. It is like moving. We have started a journey, but we are going back and forth. We have to go few kilometers. Let's say one kilometer. We are moving 100 meters towards our destination, and we are coming back 90 or maybe 110, and we are still in the we have not gone anywhere. We are minus 10 meters from the destination, and again we start moving 200 meters and comes back 150, and again comes and again we moves away from the destination 50 meters. So again we are back in the original spot. Likewise, we have to be very productive, and we have to be very efficient in what we are doing, because if we are not focusing, when we are not focusing, what we are doing is we are doing the opposite of what needs to be done, because all of the time you would act with raga dvesa moha. Especially you should focus on lobha dvesa moha initially. Abhijja and domanassa should be eliminated. We should start with sila, kaya sanghara, and vachi sanghara. That is, you have to get rid of all the thoughts of hurting, killing, and we should develop thoughts of metta. We should get rid of all the thoughts of stealing and and taking other people's things without their approval, and accepting those kinds of things. And also the third one, having unethical relationships. Even thinking and even saying and accepting these kinds of things and doing these kinds of things should be stopped. And again, lying, slandering, using harsh words and meaningless words. Even thinking about doing that, thinking means even accepting it in your mind, and telling others that it's okay, and directing others towards that, and doing it by your own. All these should be stopped. And that would lead to sila. Sila means the cooled down mind, or cooled down heart, or chest. Your chest is cooled. It is not in rage. It is not in conflict. It is very calmed and quiet and cooled. So that is needed. That is the background you need to follow the pathway. So in that pathway, you should never get rid of the background. If you get rid of the background, you are going backwards away from the destination. You have to always maintain the background, and in that background, what we are going to develop is the Satipatthana, which is Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana. Even it is not necessary, you don't need to understand these 4 types. What are the differences? How we are going to use each of them in each places? What you need to understand simply is Satipatthana is getting rid of abhijja and domanas, which is abhijja is the attachment, domanasa is the rage or dvesha. Now lobha and dvesha should be eliminated. Those 2 are the problems. So whatever the way you use that to get rid of lobha and dvesha. So lobha, thoughts of attachment and thoughts of conflict leading to rage, and it can lead to anger, hate, revenge, and everything. So dvesha is an umbrella term. So you have to get rid of all these things. So when that happens, so with sila, you're focusing on satipatthana. You're focusing on your mind, what your mind is doing with avidya. So when you do that, with sati, your tool of detection is sati, and you are using this tool of detection to detect raga and dvesha and moha, which are generated in your mind. That is why it is said, sabba papa sakarana, kusala supasampada. When you do that, sachitta pariyodapana, that is a result. Chitta pariyaya, oh, the mind would get cleared of defilements. Sachitta pariyodapana. Etam buddhana sasana. And this is the plan. Sasana means the plan. Buddha sasana means the getting rid of all the bhava. Bhava uddha, elimination or uprooting all the bhava. So this is the plan to uproot all the bhava, is the etam buddhana sasana means. So what you need to do is, you need to get rid of all the akusala and develop kusala. Getting rid of akusala is one thing, but you have to develop kusala as well, because there are people who are not killing, who are not hurting, who are not doing anything bad, but they are not doing anything else as well. So you have to develop the virati chitta. Virati chitta means you are actively eliminating these defilements. That is kusala. The action of eliminating ku. Ku means defilements. Sala means elimination. So you are actively doing the act of eliminating defilements, which is kusala. So that is everything in 4 sentences. Sabba papa sakaranam kusala sukha sampada satitta pariyodapanam etam buddhana sasana. So this is what you need to do. Otherwise, you would become the second person who has been drinking alcohol, knows everything, but has not gone anywhere. But that is not what we want. We might not want much data, information, but we need the result, because we all came for the result, which is elimination of all the suffering. And that result is what we need. And that result is, we would agree, we have to agree, it's not easy to achieve. We have to go through various sacrifices when we are going to do that. They are not going to be physical sacrifices. Of course, they are going to be mental. But if you are going to become a monk, then you are going to be, or you are willing to sacrifice your physical level as well for the betterment of your pathway. So when you do that, when you follow the pathway as directed by Supreme Buddha, you would understand it straight away. If you are very very focused and determined that this is the only thing that I want to do, this is my life goal, that if you get that kind of a enthusiasm, then you would understand within few months, within few weeks, if you follow the right pathway, if you follow the correct teachings without any problems, then you would straight away understand that this would give me the result I want. But in a setting, in a lay setting or a normal setting, this is actually for a monk. For a normal person, you would not be able to focus on the pathway that intensely. But what you need to do is, with your capability level, focus on raga, desha, moha. When it occurs, if you are able to, if you have detected it, if you have not detected it, then we have nothing to talk about. But if you have detected it, lobha, dosa, moha, don't go beyond the level of detection. Cut it out and think with wisdom why you should stop that. Why it is the problem. And when you do that, you are in the Arya pathway. You are developing the Arya pathway, and you are not becoming a person who is who has defaulted. When you are not defaulting, when you are following the correct pathway, it happens. The results would come gradually, and you would see when you take a bigger time period and when you analyze your life, maybe few years of life practicing, maybe 6 months of practicing, you would understand the difference. You would see that you have attained, you have gone somewhere. The other thing is, again, the Arya pathway is anicca. You cannot control it according to your expectation. You expect to attain Nibbana tomorrow, but there's no assurance that it would happen, because it is a cause and effect, again, theory. It falls on the cause and effect law. So how does this happen? It is explained in the Na Chetana Karaniya Sutta. I think it is in the Samyutta Nikaya. So it starts with Kusala Sila. If you develop Kusala Sila, then you would develop Avipratisara. Avipratisara means Avipatisaro. Avipatisaro means you would develop a calmness in your mind. You're not, it is like a still water surface. You develop that water surface because, again, Sila means Sisil Laya. Sisil means cool down chest or heart. Your mind is cooled down. When it cools down, you are developing calmness. Avipratisara leads to Pramod. Pramod means happiness. Happiness leads to Preeti. Preeti is again an intense form of happiness, we can say. Preeti leads to Passaddhi. Passaddhi is the relaxation, or you feel light in your mind as well as your body becomes lighter. When it is about dhyana and all, it occurs in the body as well. But when we are talking about mind, the mind becomes lighter. You feel like you are floating, not physically, but in the mental side, you feel very light, very less attachments. You feel like flying in your mind, not physically. So passaddhi. Passaddhi leads to samadhi. Passaddhi leads to sukha. Sukha means you feel the blissfulness because of being light. Now these are all causes and effects. You have nothing to do in between, just like the Paticca we have discussed. One leads to the other. So again, the sukha leads to samadhi. Now that is a result. Sukha is the effect, and the not the effect cause, and the effect is the samadhi. And this samadhi is the dharma samadhi, dhamma samadhi. Would lead to nirveda or nibbida. Nibbida means non-binding nature. So you usually attach, because we have the attachment. We think that this word is valuable. As soon as we see a valuable thing, we attach. That is the nature. Attaching nature is what is originally what we originally have in our minds, with avidya, of course. When the samadhi is developing, you get the opposite, which is non-binding nature. You are not getting bonded with anything. And this leads to the elimination of raga, which is viraga. Non-binding, no, nirveda leads to viraga. Viraga leads to vimukti jnana dassana. Actually, samadhi leads to, I lost one there, samadhi leads to yatha bhuta jnana dassana, what we have discussed last week. So samadhi is what leads to yatha bhuta jnana dassana. And yatha bhuta jnana dassana leads to nirveda or nibbida, non-binding nature. Non-binding nature would lead to viraga, non-wandering nature. Your mind is not wandering in anything now. It is just staying wherever it's staying, because it has to stay somewhere, because it has to grab onto some thought. It's generating some thought, but you are not attached to that thought as well. So you are not attached to anything. It is just like a football in the middle of the field, not attached to the ground, not attached to any of the teams, just following the orders of the nature. So that mindset is viraga, and would lead to vimukti jnana dassana. Now this is the salvation, the jnana dassana, the wisdom that would be generating the end result. Vimukti jnana dassana would lead to the vimukti. So that is the end. So that in that end, in this process, we had nothing to do. All the causes are creating effects, and these effects are becoming causes for the next effects, and these next effects would become causes for the other effects, and this is a chain of causes and effects. And all of it started with sila. So that's why it says sila, samadhi, prajna. Sila would lead to samadhi, and samadhi would lead to prajna. So that is what we need to understand. So in the question, we started with the difference between logic and wisdom. Now we want wisdom, not the logic. Now that is also cannot be controlled according to our expectation, if we have created all the necessary causes to open our eyes of wisdom, this would become that day we have attained the Sotapanna Phala. If that is not the case, this would become the day that we create causes to become or to attain Sotapanna Phala. So it does not go to waste anyway. That is why we should not be doubtful of whether I should do this or not. Even if we have not understood, this would become the cause this would become a cause for our understanding. If this is the day, then this would become the day that we open our eyes of wisdom. So let's say this is not the day. We are just creating causes. Then that is also a win-win. That is also a win, because this sansaric journey is infinite. So if we do not do this today, we are anyway in a sansaric journey which is infinite, or which leads to infinity, no end. So we are creating an end for an unending sansara. So this is very valuable either way, because Buddha Sasana is a very rare thing. Occurrence of a Buddha Sasana is a very rare thing. So in that Buddha Sasana, wherever we are in the world, we are creating or we are generating the most important meritorious power that is needed to end this infinite sansaric journey. We are the people that does the most meaningful thing in the universe right now. We are in the small fraction of people. So that actually eases our minds out, because either way we are doing the correct thing. And when we apply 100% to it, anyway this life or this sansari journey would not go far beyond, because when we compare with the time that we have spent, this is just nothing compared to what we have spent in this sansari journey. So we are creating all the necessary causes. So I hope that explains the answer to your question that you have asked in the chat. If you have anything else to ask or any questions regarding what we have discussed, is it clear, or is it do we need more explanation? Or can we move to the next question?
Yes, thank you very much, Thero, for that answer and explanation. As you asked, if there is a question related to that, or if it's not clear, maybe if you can ask, then we might be able to further explain on that. If not, Thero, we can maybe give a minute and move on to the next one. So maybe we'll move on. If there is further clarifications, maybe they might post to us during the sermon or later on even to the group, so we can even take it up on another time. Shall we then move on to the next question?
Sure. So the next question, I have a question. Can it be said that it is bad thing to regret and reflect on something I did wrong due to ignorance in the past? and promise not to repeat such mistakes in the future. The reason I ask this question is because the 5 obstacles include regret. I think 5 nivarana. So if I regret my past actions, isn't it a good thing to reflect on them, repent them, and resolve them in a positive way? Reflecting on and repenting for mistakes, even in hindsight, is generally recognized as a virtue, moral and good. Of course, it certainly acknowledges that past memories and regret becomes obstacles to very deep practice. Yeah. So if you, I think you've heard the question. So the this question, this problem is there with most of us, almost everyone. Everybody has done things that we have we regret, or when we have understood about Supreme Dhamma, then we detect that this was a problem. This was something that I shouldn't have done. If I had this wisdom before, I would not have done this in this way, which uh, uh, in this way that I have done. So in such a case, these are the things, these mistakes that we have done in the past, are the things that polishes our future. That is one thing. So that is why it is very important to reflect. But the second thing, which is repentance and which is regret, is not a good thing. Now, regret falls under dvesha or dosa. Raga, dosa, moha are the things that we should eliminate. And reflection is what we use to eliminate raga, dvesha, moha. So reflection should not be something that would go towards dvesha or develop dvesha, develop regret. We'll discuss about the 5 nivarana: kama, chanda, vyapada, tinamidda, uddhacha, kukucha, and vichikicha. Now these are lost in the moment that someone attains sotapanna state. These are one level of it. Actually, the 5 nivaranas are again another name for 5 nivarana is 10 defilements or 10 unwholesome acts. Is another name for Panca Nivarana. It's the same thing in one way you are talking about, because those are the hindrances to Nibbana. So Punya Papa Pahinasa is a Arihat. Papa Pahinasa. What is Papa? Papa means Akusala. Akusala means 10 immoral actions. So these are again the hindrances, and the hindrances are written or said in a different form, which is as 5 components. Kama, chanda, vyapada, tina, middu, tachupucha, and vichikicha. What is kama chanda? Ka, ama. Ama means nibbana. Ka means you are destroying the nibbana. Nibbana is destroyed. The nibbana is the peace. When you attain the parinibbana, that is the ultimate peace. That is the highest level of peace that you can attain. Nothing, no vedana, no sanya, no sankar, no vinyana, no rupa. 5 aggregates are not generated. That is there's nobody feeling that peace as well. So we cannot talk with words when we are talking about Nibbana. You just can use the word Nibbana. When we are going to explain it, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. You are just missing some part. Yeah, you cannot 100% fully explain Nibbana. You are missing somewhere. So, Nibbana, elimination of peace or elimination of Nibbana, karma. Cha anda. Cha means chitta. Anda means blind. Chitta means the mind. The mind becomes blind and your peace is gone. That is what is meant by Kama Chanda. Kama Chanda is a defilement. It would create causes for you to go to four hells. It is not even a good karma that is generated, not a positive karma. It is a bad, negative karma that is generated with Kama Chanda. Kama Chanda, when the chitta is blind, you would do anything. When somebody is in a state of Kama Chanda, you are attached to something, you are so attached, you are clinging onto that thing, you are bonded, and when you are not able to achieve that thing, you are ready to do anything. Your mind is blind. So you'd kill for that. You'd hurt people, you'd steal, you'd have unethical relationships even to get that blissfulness. You do anything, you'd say bad things or harsh words. These things are, again, the 10 defilements would come here. So Kama Chanda. What is Vyapada? Vyapada is what we know. It is the umbrella term for anger. Now, when there's Kama Chanda, most likely the one would develop Vyapada. And when the Vyapada is there, you would not care whether the person is dead or not. You'd hurt him, do anything that is necessary to get, because Dvesha is a very pleasant thing for the Dvesha mind. Dvesha is pleasant. You like Dvesha. That is why you cannot stop scolding somebody in the middle of an argument. Stop scolding. If somebody says stop scolding, cannot stop. You tell that person as well. You just mind your own business. This is my problem. I'll handle this my way. Would be the person's answer, because he likes Dvesha. Because Raga is blissful. So you get attached. Raga has a good tasty feeling or a delicious feeling. So that's why you are getting attached to Raga. Dvesha, you like Dvesha. Dvesha is not tasty. Oh, it does not have a good taste. It is bitter. The taste is bitter. But you like the taste. So Dvesha again is a Nivarana, Avarana, cover, that cover up the Nibbana pathway. So Tinamita is not what you might have heard in the text. Tina means there's this nirukti, ma idda, means you are settling. It is something happens with attachment. You would not move. So this is what happens when you become lethargic as well, or lethargic or sleepy. Your mind would not move, just hold on to the thing that there is. It happens in the physically as well as mentally. You mentally hold on to something and you never let go. It is like the moha state. Tinamita is something like that. You just hold on to things and you would not be dropping that for any reason. So when that is there, you would not be able to understand Dhamma because you are mentally attached to something because of thinking that this with the view of avidya, with the view of value, you are attached to something. So uddacha kukkucha means the nature that one gets in the mind when the ego is challenged. When somebody's ego is challenged, that person would develop uddacha. It is a conflicting mindset that one would develop, that this person, let's say for example, somebody says something to a person, and this person is a very respected person in the society, and the person who blames the respected person is just a normal ordinary person. At that point, because the respected person has a higher ego, his ego is damaged because a normal person just scolded him in the middle of the street. Now that he would develop uddacha, and uddacha is not a problem because uddacha would last towards the end, until the end of vichara pathway. But kukkucha is a problem. When they occur together, uddacha kukkucha, that is a very big problem or big defilement. Kukkucha means you would your mind would be so full of defilements, or it would become so negative, dark, that you would do something about it. So the respected person was blamed. He was thinking, I should kill this person because he challenged my ego, or I should hire somebody and break his bones or break his limbs. Now that is the level uddacha kukkucha goes. After your mind is challenged or ego is challenged, after developing uddacha, you would not stop there. You do something about it. That is uddacha kukkucha. And vichikicha. Vichikicha is lost. This is not about am I following the correct dhamma? Is this right? Is this wrong? That is not the vichikicha explained here, because it should fall under again 10 immoral actions. Because if you have if you have known about this Satara Irdipada, which is Chanda Chitta Viriya Vimansa. Vimansa means the questioning. So it is a part of 37 Bodhipaksika Dhamma. So Vimansa should be there. You would ask yourself whether I am following the correct pathway, not vichikicha. It is not a problem. It is a part of the pathway. What is vichikicha then? If you have a problem if you have known about the 8 components of vichikicha, Buddhadi Atatanhi Sakaya, it is said in Sinhala. What are the 8 components? The vichikicha about Buddha, vichikicha about Dhamma, vichikicha about Sangha, vichikicha about Siksha or the pathway, vichikicha about the previous life, vichikicha about the next lives, then the vichikicha about both of them, and vichikicha about the final one is vichikicha about the idapacchayata paticcasamuppada. These are lost when you become a sotapanna. You have no problem with Supreme Buddha's teachings. or Supreme Buddha, or Dhamma, or Sangha, anything, or Shiksha, you understand perfectly that this would end in Nibbana. So that is the Vicikiccha. So Vicikiccha means about ending suffering. If you have Vicikiccha about the ending of suffering, if you feel is this a pathway? Is this not the pathway? Is this the correct way I am following? I mean, in the sense of eliminating suffering. Anicca dukkha anatta. Is it correct? Is anicca correct? Is dukkha correct? Is anatta correct? Is the Supreme Buddha real? Or is it correct? What he teaches is that correct? Now, when you have that kind of a mindset, that would develop the moha sampayukta paticcasamuppada, which is vichikicha sampayukta paticcasamuppada and udacha sampayukta paticcasamuppada. So in this case, vichikicha sampayukta paticcasamuppada. When you have that, your mind starts dispersed. Your mind is dispersed. It is not focused on one thing. You cannot focus on one thing. When you have that kind of a mindset, that's why it says it is a cover for the phala, which is the Sotapanna state. Because if you are thinking that at that point that whether this is right or that is right, then you cannot focus on one thing. When you cannot focus on one thing, you would not be able to develop the yoniso manasikara, which is an essential component when you are the Sotapanna state. So that is the problem with 5 Nivarana. 5 Nivarana. So again, the third one, Dinamitta, it has two components, mental Dinamitta, as well as mentally it is called Dina, and I think the physical part is called Mitta, or the other ways. So it is actually the condensation. It is like when there, let's say when there's milk, if you put the what do you call the necessary components that is there to make milk curd, when that becomes curd, you cannot move. The liquid nature of milk is gone. Just like you are just mind goes to that state, and your body also goes to that state. Both of them is a problem for your understanding. So so when the mind is in that state, you cannot go to the, again, you cannot develop the yoniso manasikara. You cannot think in different ways, think very with a very active mind. You cannot do that. So that is also a cover for Nibbana. So these are the 8 and 5 Nivarana. So that what is the problem with this? So when you have regret, when you have developed, you have done something in the past, done bad thing which you regret right now after you have understood Dhamma, when you have that kind of a thing, you should not regret, because the thing which is in the history, it is already created. Now we have created billions and millions of karma in our samsaric pathway. The only thing you don't remember, because in this life we only remember from maybe about from age 6 or 5 or upwards. We cannot remember anything below that. In the past life, we might be a thief, or maybe a person that kills people for money, assassin, or a very bad individual overall, or a very good person. It goes both ways. So we might have done good things, and we might have done bad things in our past, and we don't remember. If we started remembering these things, we would not be able to believe that whether I have done these kinds of bad things in my past. Because it happens when there's no light, when there's darkness of avidya, when the things when problems occur, we would decide what to do based on avidya. If we had power, if we had big let's say we had uh, power and physical power, we had big bodies, and we were capable of hurting somebody. When the background occurs that we need to there's a way that we can achieve something that we want, that we think is valuable, by hurting somebody. And if we have the capability from our side, we have a big body, good muscles, and good strength, and the other person has a lower ability to go against us, we would use that at that point, because we are acting with avidya, and we would hurt that person and get what we want. That is what avidya is. Avidya is always going with defilements. So we might have done various things, but all of them are history. We cannot do anything about it. Yes, it would generate negative karmic energy in the ongoing samsara, or in the future. But that is also, we have nothing to do about it. Being regretted about that I would be punished, I would be hurt because of this bad karmic energy. Again, nothing to do about it. It is not wise to think that way. So there's a sutta again in the Majjhima Nikaya, third book, and which is called the Vagga is called again the Vibhanga Vagga, and the sutta is Baddhekaratana Sutra. And in this Baddhekaratana Sutra, it says the old Panchaskandha, or all the 5 components of 5 aggregates, are already gone. The future Panchaskandha has not arrived yet. So there's nothing to do about both of them. So what about the Panchaskandha, or the 5 aggregates right now? That is also anicca dukkha anatta. That is also of no essence. That is also of dukkha nature. That is also of anicca nature. So think like that. It says that you have to think that way. So I'll explain how somebody is when you are doing, or when you are regretting something, what happens at that point. At that point, you are generating again a negative energy that would again be coming back to you like a boomerang in the future. So you have done something bad in the history, or in the past, and you are doing something like that right now as well. So what you should do is, you should get this idea straight, that I have done bad things because I did not know the nature of the world, which is anicca, dukkha, and anatta nature. Now I know the anicca, dukkha, anatta nature. So I would never do this kind of a thing again. That is the way that you should think. I'd explain how the death of a sotapanna happens. If we can get the screen, this would need some abhidhamma, and we'll see now today with this. Can you see? Yes, I think.
It's functioning, Thero, yes.
So you might not know about Citta Vithi much. I'll give you a very brief explaining about Citta Vithi, and I am explaining this Citta Vithi only to explain you about a very important thing, about how a death of a Sotapanna person happens. So this is a Bhavanga. So like this, Chitta always where for in a 1 second, billions and billions of Chitta are created. So if there's nothing coming to the Chitta, that means if your eyes are not receiving anything, or ears are not receiving anything, nose, tongue, and body are not receiving anything, even the mind is not receiving anything, in a state like sleeping, this Bhavanga Chitta is what is created. Now this Bhavanga Chitta, this is originated and this is deteriorated. That means this origin is there, then there's the Viparinama, and the death is there. And it goes like that. This is Chittakshana. These are called Chittakshana. And Chittakshana has 3 phases. Uppada, this is the first one, then Titi, Bhanga. So these are the 3 steps of one Chittakshana. And this Bhavanga Chitta is a result of that happened because of what you thought, because of what you created at the deathbed of the previous life. At the previous life, let's say you became a human or a person. So you might have thought something good. If you have thought something bad, at least you should have alobha or adesha, or both of them, or alobha, adesha, moha, all 3 of them. Let's say you had all 3 of them. Alobha, adosa, and amoha. All A's. 3 A's were there in your mindset. So what came to your mind was you are offering dana or alms to let's say a monk, and at that point you are offering so you are full of alobha, and you don't have any hate. That in that sense you are adosa, and you know the value of offering alms to a monk, because he would generate he would complete his Arya pathway, and this Arya you know the value of Arya pathway, and you know everything. At least you know this is a good thing to do. So in that sense you are amoha, you are not full of ignorance at that point. So this alavabhadus amoha chitta creates this bhavanga, and this bhavanga is there when you are not doing anything, even when you are not thinking. This bhavanga is generated. So this at least this bhavanga is created when nothing is coming to your mind. So let's say due to karmic energy, you are seeing something. See, you are seeing an object. So when this happens, when an object is seen, this bhavanga chitta is challenged. So this is called atita bhavanga. Then comes bhavanga chalana. Then comes bhavanga upachedaka. So this is like the bhavanga. These were bhavanga with full full capacity or full energy. So it is creating like this. And Atita Bhavanga also have the same altitude, but Bhavanga Chalana becomes, the altitude becomes low, Bhavanga Upachedaka becomes 0. It is like a vehicle. This is like a vehicle, it goes like this. Now you are seeing something. Now you have to change this Bhavanga Chitta, which goes like a vehicle. It is 40 kilometers per hour. So it should come to 0, and then you can start, or you can change the direction, because without coming to an end, you cannot change the direction. So that is why Atita Bhavanga Chalana, which reduces the power, and Bhavanga Upachedaka, which kills the power, and then comes the Panchadra Varjana, something like this. So Panchadra Varjana means when this hits at the Atita Bhavanga, you know that means when this happens at the Atita Bhavanga, or image is seen at the Atita Bhavanga, you know that something is coming from one of the organs, one of the 5 organs: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. So this avidya, the nature of avidya is you are like a person, or a you are like a what do you call that, the person in front of in a office, or in a organization. There's a person who is there for greeting everybody. So when the person comes, he greets and says whatever the way, good morning, or good evening, and welcomes the person. So likewise, this avidya has that nature in it. So it always looking for something, input from the external world. So it is always having this quality of um, expectation of something from the external world. So when this happens, when an object is seen with your eye, so you know that something is coming. So you have to stop this already going process, and then goes Panchadra Varjana, because you know something hit in one of the organ systems. Now you are searching it, and you identify that it is eyes receiving a light, or response, or you are seeing an object. So this is now, because it's the eye, it is chakku vinyana. Again, see, a chakku vinyana is created. And then there's the sampatichana. Sampatichana means you are welcoming that. And santirana, you are deciding on that after welcoming. And then there's this vattapana. Vattapana is you are deciding how to act on this input that you are seeing. After vattapana, there's this javana. So there are 7 javanas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So after these 7 javanas, there's 2 tadarambana, which is again this is another vehicle, right? So your 17 chittakshana should be there in one of these Citta Vithi. So after this Citta Vithi, this is the end of the Citta Vithi. So this should again end. And again the Bhavanga Chitta starts from here. Again the old Bhavanga, which is Alobha Dvesa Moha Trihetuka Bhavanga, which was started at the beginning of this life. So you are going back to the Bhavanga Chitta, and again Bhavanga Chitta would go. Again after this, for Manodwara Chitta Vithi, again another 3 would go. So just like the 17, these are called Panchadra, Panchadwara or Chitta Vithi. These are called Panchadwara Chitta Vithi. Up until here, up until Tadarambana, the 17 Chittakshana, creating Chitta Vithi. And after this, one Chitta Vithi, the Panchadwara Citta Vithi, for one of the Panchadwara Citta Vithi, 3 Manodwara Citta Vithi. 3 Manodwara Citta Vithi would go for one Panchadwara Citta Vithi. So what we need to understand here now, this vehicle has stopped and it started another journey, and now when it ends at here, now again this vehicle should stop at 0, and again this Bhavanga Chitta starts. So likewise this process would go again after some few Bhavanga Chitta, again a Manodwara Chitta Vithi would occur, taking the same input which was given from this chitta, this input from the eyes. So what we need to why I explain this is, now this was what happened at your last death. So there was this Bhavanga Chitta going, and most of the time it is the mind, because at the deathbed your eyes are not functioning, ears, nose, tongue, body, all are gone, but your mind is functioning and you are receiving thoughts. And when these thoughts are received, this is what is going to happen. Atita Bhavanga, Bhavanga Chalana, Bhavanga Upachedaka. Let's say this is from your eyes. It is easier when you take the eyes. So let's say this person is seeing something again at the deathbed, and this is created. The 17 Chittakshana created. Aticha Bhavanga, Bhavanga Chalana, Bhavanga Upachiti, Panchadhavarjan, Chakku Vinyana is created. Santirana, Sampatichana is created. Again, Vattapana, you decide how to act. And these are actually Java. Java means you are creating power. You are deciding and now you are acting upon it. You decided how to act, and now in Javana you are acting. So the Javana are the things that creates the karmic energy. Karmic energy is created at the level of Javana. So at the last deathbed, you saw a temple, and based on the temple, because you are a virtuous person, and this was your last sight of something, and Atita Bhavanga, Bhavanga Chalana, Bhavanga Upachita, you are Panchadhavarjana, you are seeing that at the Chakku Vinyana, you are seeing a temple, and you are getting it, or you are welcoming it in Sampatichana and Santirana. You are deciding that it is a temple that you are seeing, and in Vattapana you are deciding how to act on this. If you are a person who does not like temples, you would get angry. Let's say you got angry, then you would not develop alobha, dvesha, moha. Instead, you would develop dvesha. Dvesha would be developed, and that is not a good thing to happen at the death. Last at the last Citta Vithi, you would be in one of the 4 hells if that happens. But luckily, you are a person who likes this. You had this viewpoint. This is decided on viewpoint, right? So if you had prajna, you decide with prajna. If you had avidya, you decide with avidya what you would do. You have no control over what you are going to do. That's the problem. It is decided on the viewpoint. That's why the view is changed to sammaditthi when you become sotapanna, and that we would always act on a person who has become sotapanna, then the level of javana, what you would do, what you would decide on what to do at the point when something is seen like this. So when these eyes are open, when you are seeing this at the level of Vattapana, you are seeing a temple and you decided you are happy, you are rejoicing that uh, sight. So what happens? You have alobha, adesa, and amoha, all of them again. So the javana was created, and important thing about Javana is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it increases like this and decreases like this. So first Javana is less powerful, and the second is more, the power of second one is more than that, third one is more than that, fourth one is higher, and again again it goes the other way. So the first one, this happens because when the first one was created, it gets the Asevanapatya, or it is helped, and it is like rotating a wheel. The first momentum that it gets would help to increase the speed in the next second. So likewise, it is increased and decreased. So Chuti is happening here, Patisandhi is happening here, right? Chuti Patisandhi, or the death and birth, is happening at the last two Javana. Here, death, and here, birth. So you got a good Javana, which is Alobhade Samoha, and here you die and you are born. Now, again, there's four bodies: karmic body, Uttuja body, mental body, and the body, fourth body, which is made of Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Pativi, is created, and the Gandhabba is created at that point, where you die, and the Gandhabba is released at the death. But this is a good Gandhabba, which is which is made of Alobhade Samoha, human Gandhabba, which has the ability to which has a good intelligence level because of Amoha. Likewise, in the next deathbed, when you die, the same thing would happen. So the thing is, now we are going for a Sotapanna. Now you have done something you regret. Say, let's say you have killed an animal, and this is what you get at the deathbed. You see an animal being killed at the last Citta Vithi. And if you are a person with that ditti, the wrong ditti, which is mithya ditti, that animal killing is okay. Animal killing helps us. It is okay to kill animals and eat them. If you had that ditti, when you see the sight of animal being killed, again, Atita Bhavanga, Bhavanga Chana, Bhavanga Upachedaka, Pancha Dravarjana, Chakku Vinyana, you are seeing an animal being killed, Santirana, Sampatichana, you are accepting it, and you are seeing that now that you are detecting at this level, and Vattapana level, you are deciding. And you are deciding with Mithyaditti that it is good. And you are in one of the defilements, 10 defilements, because you are praising the killing of an animal, and you feel like you also would do that. You are accepting it, and that would not create amoha, that would create moha, and that would create dvesha. Both of them would be there. So alobha would not anyway be there. So this would generate a bad karmic energy, and you are creating it right now. That's what I want to do. This is the whole point of explaining this. You are creating it right now based on what you saw or what you developed during this lifetime. You created and you developed habits, but based on that habit, you are creating your journey at this point right now. This is where you generate karmic energy, not before. Not because the karmic energy which was generated before are already created. You have nothing to do about that. And the things that are in the future have not come. They are in the future. But what is happening right now is what is being is created right now, and you have to see it as anicca dukkha anatta. So you have no control over it. What happened before also, you did not have any control over it. It is the nature of avidya. what can I do? The delusional self or delusional thing called me have no say in what way that you would behave, because Vattapana is decided on the Vattapana is the way how you act upon the input would be decided on the ditti. Oh, if you had the sammaditi, then now the sotapanna person who likes killing animals, who has already killed animals for so long, but now has the sammaditi, now seeing a chicken or a goat being killed, and the Vattapana level, what he gets is the sammaditi, and he thinks, I have done various bad things. Yes, he reflect on what has happened. I might have done various bad things in the past. I might have killed animals in the past, which is wrong, and I would never do that kind of a thing again. Would be the Vattapana. You'd not get attached. You'd not get the lobha, or you'd get the dvesha and moha. Instead, you would get alobha, adesha, and amoha again. Even though the karmic energy showed that object for you, for that person to create a bad background, since there's no causes in that person, because he's having sammaditi, instead of going the four hells, that person would again either born in the human or godly realms, because he is creating this Javana with good samadhi. So that is what I wanted to explain. So it is quite okay to see that I have done these kinds of things, but I would never do those kinds of things again. What was created, and it was done out of avidya, and avidya pacha sankara is something I cannot have any control over of, because sankara is decided with avidya. So what I have created in the past was created with avidya, and now since I have developed the view which is the samma view, sammaditi, now I know it is wrong. And now the sankhara, right now also, the chitta sankhara, based on the past memory, are created in a good way, not in a bad way. So since there's no way for you to go back and correct what you have done, because that is not how the world works, now it is the only way you can uh, make this right is from now onwards. That's why in the beginning of this discussion also we said we have done various unethical deeds and unwholesome acts towards again triple gems as well. So we are deciding that those are wrong. We are acknowledging our faults, and we are not going to do those kinds of things again. That is reflection and correction, not reflection and regret and repentance. Not that pathway, but reflection and correction. After getting corrected, you don't have to think about that again and again as well, because you know there's no point. You just thought it once, and you thought, no, I would not never do those kinds of things again. Maybe in the past, but now I know better. So would be your understanding. So this is what I wanted to share with you. I hope this is a very technical explanation, but I wanted to explain this because I wanted to tell you that the only thing you have to get from this is what happens, what you do right now is actually what opens the door for the next karma, especially when you die, because the background is created from the karmic energy of what you have done before. If you have, let's say, for Chundasukara, who was killing pigs right next to Jethavanarama, and this Chundasukara, at his deathbed, got the background to go to Osupat Niraya. So a hell, which is a minor hell. So in this hell, in this background, what happened was maybe he was seeing pigs being killed. Now, since his deity is, he likes doing his job, he likes killing pigs, he would do the Vattapana in that way, straight away getting him to that hell. But what if he listened to Dhamma the previous day and became an Arya, and still he has practiced this all of his life, and now he's at the deathbed? Again, he would be seeing pigs being killed, but he would have a different Vattapana, different Javana would be created. I have done various these unnecessary or unethical or unwholesome things before, but I would never do those kinds of things again. I know better now. Would be his idea, and that idea would create a good chitta, which is alobhade samoha, getting. So that's why a Sotapanna would never go to the four hells. This is the technicality of it. So now the explanation of this and the regret is connected, because when you are regretting, you are doing the Vattapana. The Vattapana is happening in a different way, and now I am giving the. Now we are discussing this, so you know. Now this is not how this should. It is this. It should not happen this way, and you know now. You should think, and reflect, and correct yourself. And when you do that, you are acting with wisdom. And when you are acting with wisdom, there's alobha, adesa, and amoha. So the result again would develop the Arya pathway, not Lobha Dvesa Moha. Instead of Lobha Dvesa Moha, it would be Kusala Moda, which is Alobha Dvesa Moha, developing the Arya pathway. So I hope there's a question as well. Then his Ditti, Chetasika, reflects on that grasping bad nimitta, right? Instead of cultivated Samma Sati. When was this posted? Then his Ditti. At what part of the discussion? I am not quite sure. This question was posted.
Yeah, when you were doing the Citta Vithi explanation towards about 75% of it, I cannot tell you the exact spot, but around
Yeah.
that.
Then his Ditti just reflects on that grasping. Yeah, I think the answer for that, this was given at the later part. Am I right? Oh,
maybe the person who posted the question could inform if that is clear now, or otherwise maybe Thero could, or you for that.
Otherwise, so this is actually decided on what type of ditti you have at that point. So if you have wrong michya ditti, your vattapana would be done with michya ditti. If you have samma ditti, your vattapana would done. So I think if you are having the samma ditti, let's say that Sammaditthi has levels, right? So Sotapanna level is one of the Sammaditthi. Second is Sakadagami level. Third is Anagami level, and fourth is Arihat level. Let's say now it says if you have a Sammaditthi level of a Sotapanna, you would never go to 4 hells. So the Vattapana is decided that if a object is seen or something is heard or something is felt in the form of taste, smell, or touch, whatever it is, if it is something that would get you to 4 hells, when that thing is coming, some particular santirana at the Vattapana level, since the person is somebody who has attained Sotapanna Phala, the decision would come from Sammaditthi. And the decision would always a good one, or a one that would not get you to 4 hells. So if you are a Sakadagami level or Anagami level, it again that would not even generate a Vattapana level that would get you to even to Kama world. Instead, you would go to Anagami, the Brahma level, which is Suddhavasa. Again, if somebody has become Arihat, the Vattapana is after Vattapana, it is full wisdom, completed wisdom, creating Javana, which would be we call this empty Javana. No ability to generate any karmic energy. This Javana, a Javana of an Arihat. So when the last Citta Vithi goes, at the 6th Javana, a 7th Javana would not be created. That would be the end. This Javana, 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 Javana. The 6th Javana goes, and 6th Javana is Chuti, 7th Javana is Patisanti. But after 6th Javana, there's no Patisanti because these Javana are empty Javana. So that is, I think, this is what you have said in the question. Am I explaining the correct answer, or am I not understanding the question? Okay, I hope you understand. Otherwise, we can discuss this part discussion as well with a wider time, taking a wider time period.
Maybe Thero, the participants can reflect upon it, and if they need further clarity, drop a message to the group. Next day, we might be able to take it up for additional clarity, unless you want to take it up today, Thero, and there is questions coming forward.
Yeah. So those are the questions that were posted today, and we have discussed.
Thero, there is a statement that just came in.
And your teaching reminds me that true wisdom comes as Magapala suddenly. Actually, that coming based on the law of cause and effect. Yeah, the Anapanasati Bhavana, which is mind cleansing process, including listening to Dhamma sermon. The cleansing process can be maintained with Sammasati. Now, Sammasati is actually one of the parts that helps to maintain. Samma Samadhi is the maintenance, and Sammasati is one of the things that helps to maintain. And the Sati can be described as detection, mindfulness of our actions, including our mind process, based on Sammaditthi. My conclusion is that wisdom in Buddhism is like the final result compared to the beautiful flower rising through a caring well, the second plant, our mind. So wisdom cannot match match logic well, but Samma Sankappa can include that. Yeah, Samma Sankappa is actually there's logic coming with wisdom hand in hand. That's why it is very hard to distinguish the two. See, wisdom has logic in it. There's no wisdom without logic. You're not saying that sun is what do you say, sun is coming from oh, sun is rising from west or something, when there's clearly data that it is not. So it is not like that. It is logical, but logic itself is not wisdom. That is the difference. So what you are saying is right. So according to what I understand from this text is right. So the thing is, the Magapala is actually a result. So it in the Citta Vithi we have already discussed. In when you become Sotapan, it goes like this. So Bhavanga, just like that it goes. And at the moment you attain Pala, what happens is Anuloma, Parikarma, Upachara, Anuloma, Parikarma, Gotrabu, and then Sotapan. So Sotapan happens in a very let's say very minor time period. It happens maybe 1 billionth of a second. I don't know. I cannot even say like that. Maybe it's even smaller. A very small time. It takes a very small time period. You cannot even understand that it happened. For example, when there was when Sakra, God Sakra, was listening to Dhamma from Supreme Buddha, he died and he was born again at that place, and he did not know that he died. He was just listening to Dhamma all along, and he was coming to listen to Dhamma because he knew that his life was coming to an end, and he was getting afraid that he would die. And he was going to listening to this Dhamma sermon, and he was happy and he was very blissful listening to Dhamma. The bliss of Dhamma was there all around, and he was listening to Dhamma, and he died and was born again during the discussion without him knowing that he died and was born again. He has attained Sotapanna Pala as well at that Dhamma discussion, even before dying. So it is so fine. We are in our minds, even an Arihat, even the great Sariputta is not able to understand that level. So it is a result. That is why it is called Magapala. So Magapala means it's a pala. Pala is a fruit. In the simple explanation of pala is a fruit. The fruit is as explained correctly, fruit is a result of the whole thing going on down there in a tree. So you have to plant the tree, you have to care for the tree, you have to put water, you have to put sunlight, and most of this part is done in our previous lives for the Sotapanna state. But after the Sotapanna state, it is our own actions, our own how we develop the pathway, Arya pathway, or how we follow the eightfold pathway is what decides on what phala we would receive. Or after that, after becoming Sotapanna, it is another plant that is being cared, and that caring is done with Arya Ashtangika Magga. So that is the caring there. But for the level to become Sotapanna, it is a very big process that goes through many lifetimes, which we have done at least a part of it, because this could be a part of it or this could be the end of it. So we would know when when you have understood whatever the thing or whatever samadhi you might have achieved, you have to put that into action. Then it would develop. The next tree would develop, giving the next pala. If you reach the next pala, then that is very good. That is what we want. If we don't, then that would be the beginning of a, or we are creating causes for the first tree to become Sotapanna Pala. To get the Sotapanna Pala, we are creating causes for the, we are watering, we are supplying the sunlight for the first tree to be generated. So that is a win-win situation. Either way, you win. So that is right. I think that's the end.
Thero, then with that, I think if there are no further questions, and now that we have gone more than 2.5 hours, close to 2.5 hours of Dhamma discussion, we will close, if possible, with a short Anumodana. And if they have any further questions, Thero, we will invite them to put it forward to the group so that we can even take it up again the next time, and maybe you can further explain as required. So with that being reminded to the group, I now respectfully invite you to close with a short Anumodana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So today
Sadhu.
we discussed about practical questions, practical problems that you get while you are practicing the Arya pathway. And during this discussion, especially focus on how you would develop the rest of the pathway from after understanding the reality of the world, because that is what would develop your minds and eliminate raga, dvesha, moha. And during this time of 2 hours or more than 2 hours, we have been practicing the noble eightfold pathway, and we have been trying to understand the great concepts of Dhamma, which would then open up our eyes of wisdom. And the amount of, or the meritorious power which was generated through these actions is immeasurable. And with this immeasurable meritorious power, may everyone create the perfect background to understand the Arya Dhamma, eliminating all the hindrances, barriers, Panca Nivarana, and everything that comes against the understanding. And may all the meritorious power during this life and during the past life that you have generated may agglomerate together, creating the perfect environment for you to understand Supreme Dhamma and complete the pathway. Accept this blessing with the sadhukar.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And in this special occasion, let us remind all the disease relations of this life and all the previous lives, and also the ones who might have helped us during this samsaric journey, especially our parents, teachers, the ones who have given us jobs, ones who have shown the correct pathway, what is right and what is wrong, the ones who constructed our houses and workplaces, and all the ones who were hurted and harmed by our wrong actions, which we did because of not knowing what is right and what is wrong, and also the ones who helped us have this Dhamma discussion, who were behind the scenes, who are donating to maintain these temples and maintain these internet connections and devices and everything, and also the ones, all the deities of 6 realms of gods and 20 planes of Brahma and all the sentient beings in the universe as well. And let us transfer this meritorious power to them. May they rejoice in these meritorious deeds. May they be happy. May they develop happy moods, blissful experiences while seeing these meritorious deeds. May they develop immeasurable amounts of merits. If they are in miserable places, may they refrain from doing sins. May they replace those sins with meritorious deeds, and may they lead happy lives, ultimately understanding the reality of the world, attaining the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Accept this with sadhukara, transferring all the meritorious power to them with metta and kindness.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So we will be ending this Dhamma discussion today with a Pali stanza, blessing everyone. Abhivadana silis nichang adhapchayano chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhambala ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha to nibbana sampatti minate samchitu.
Sadhu.
Everyone in the supreme bliss of Nibbana.
Thank you very much, Venerable Thero, for your time and for the explanations, and also to those who have posted questions and taken part in today's discussion. As usual, we will post the video soon after this discussion. And again, we remind you, if there are any, please go ahead and post those to the group. With that, we end today's discussion. Thank you very much, Thero, again, for your kind support and discussions today. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thero Sarnapa.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Everyone, Saranai, everyone.
Teruvan saranai.